Hello, welcome to Sound Bites. I'm your host, Holly Whitfield from the Daily Memphian. I am here with Ben Pugh. He's the president and head brewer at Meddlesome Brewing in Cordova. They marked 9 years in business this past June. Thank you so much for being here, Ben.
You're very welcome. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Today we're going to talk about Ben's story. We're going to talk about Meddlesome. We're going to talk about beer and the changes in the beer industry and drinking culture. Yeah. You know me, I got to talk about a zeitgeist, or it's not a Sound Bites podcast. Then we're going to talk about an essential beer ingredient, water. And Ben, along with a group of other local brewery owners, recently signed an opinion letter that we published in the Daily Memphian. It was an opinion piece written by someone from Protect Our Aquifer, yep, an advocacy group, and these brewers signed that letter. And so we're going to talk about that too. We're also going to get into some of Ben's favorites in terms of beer and food and the changes that have happened at Meddlesome since they opened. So that's our big preview of what we're going to talk about today. But just before we get started and dive head first, this is Sound Bites. It's the Daily Memphian's weekly dining podcast. Dining, food, drink. It's all a part of our free podcast series at the Daily Memphian. You can catch all of our previous episodes of Sound Bites by subscribing on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube. Plus, you can hear new episodes on WYXR Radio, Thursdays at 11. If you're listening right now on WYXR Radio, up next you can hear our Daily Memphian CEO, Eric Barnes, on his Sidebar podcast, talking to arts and culture folks in Memphis. But let's get going. Thank you so much again for being here.
Of course.
Okay, let's talk about the brewery. Like, just basics. If people haven't been, it's in Cordova.
Yep, we are in Cordova, right across the street from Shelby Farms Dog Park. So we're right over there at Trinity. Anybody that's our age wouldn't remember the skate park in Memphis, where it was at. We're directly across the parking lot from that. But yeah, right off of Trinity Industrial Strip Building. Perfect. Yeah. It's kind of
you talked about this a lot, I think, when you guys opened, but it's not a traditional place for a brewery, but what is?
It is in other cities. In Memphis, it's not. Memphis, we are the outlier in the way that we structured it and the way we built it. But you go to like very beer-centric places, it's pretty normal to see an industrial setup like that. We need industrial space, tall ceilings, high voltage power, lots of water, space, and a reasonable price on it. So that's why we're over there. And we wanted to be in Cordova because there was nothing in Cordova.
Right.
We wanted to have that midtown, downtown feel, but be in the suburbs. So
yeah, make it Cordova.
Yeah.
You have 13 beers on tap-ish, usually. Is that right?
Yeah, we extended our tap wall. We have 12 beers, 2 sodas, and 2 cocktails.
That's awesome. That's very cool. When and why did you add the cocktails?
Just that goes into the whole ever-changing beer scene. It's just one of those things. You have to pay attention to what people are doing. And we had a lot of customers that were, I'd bring my wife up here, but she only drinks wine. Yeah. Or I'd bring my buddy, but he only drinks bourbon or whatever. So you start hearing that over and over and over, and you see that the market is shifting, and you need to do something to make a change, keep it new, keep it relevant. And that's kind of what we did. We're like, yeah, well, we can pull more people by having an offering. We kept our offerings premium. We don't do well liquors or anything. So, it's not your
it's like a full
$2
bar
shop place, you know. Like, that's not us. We do a premium cocktail menu and then have very nice spirits that go into them. So
yeah, I mean, for me, I love to have a beer, but I'm probably not going to drink more than one beer, really, usually most of the time. Now, I might have a second drink if I can have a cocktail. Right. And so for me, you're getting like a bigger check because you have that second drink, whereas before I might have just had a beer. So I think that's smart. That's just my personal thoughts. But let's talk about you a little bit. Where are you from and your background? I noticed you were talking a lot about the equipment in the industrial space. I know you have a lot of expertise in that.
Yeah, so I'm from Southern Illinois. Moved down here whenever I was 19 years old, which was like 2002.
Okay.
So been down here, got into home brewing at like 24 years old. Really loved it, enjoyed it. It's a couple of buddies. We just used to brew every weekend. Every time that we could, we're just brewing beer.
You were required to if you were like a man living in the mid 2000s.
Yeah,
like,
everybody was doing it. It was a thing, and there wasn't that many breweries here at that point in time. I think we had 2. Had Bosco's and Ghost River.
Yeah.
And that was it. So we wanted more craft beer, and there wasn't very much on the shelf. So it's like, well, we're gonna make our own, and that snowballed into starting a brewery, starting a bigger brewery, and just continuing to do that. So yeah, I was a mechanic before, and then after opening my first brewery, I got into brewery equipment sales, and I ran an equipment sales company for since like 2012. So yeah.
And you still do that?
Yeah, it's slowed down a lot considerably, but still do it.
And you started out also working with the folks at Rock and Dough Brewery, is that right? What was that experience like?
It was good. So that was the second location. It was a food truck, and then they had the Park and Ridgeway location, and they were expanding into Jackson. It was a new development downtown. Was approached by the owner about doing a brewery in there. So I owned the brewery side of it. He owned the restaurant side of it. We did our little partnership there, and it was a very good startup.
Yeah.
You know, just getting my footing and seeing what I can do on a much larger scale than what I was doing before.
I guess I always thought that they kind of started at the same time, like their brewery side and their pizza side.
No, So his history was actually a trolley stop market downtown.
That's right.
And then a food truck, and then the Park and Ridgeway, and then that. And then there was a short-lived one over off of Poplar and Highland.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Now it's a lot more of them. I think there's 4, maybe 5 in town. And
there's one in the Edge District.
Yeah. And then there's another 4 in Nashville, I think. So, yeah, they're doing well right now.
Great. Well, and they still have good beer. But then you went on to do Meddlesome and opened in 2017?
17, yeah.
Congratulations on almost 10 years. I know that is a lot. Okay. What first sparked your interest in brewing?
That was the lack of craft beer.
Yeah.
We were going to Kroger and going to all these beer package stores, and I'm seeing Michelob, Amber, and IPA, and I'm like, I didn't know they did that. Why are they doing these beers? So then we started looking for more and more, and anytime we'd go out of state, we'd get something, and it was just that simple lack of craft beer in the market that we started brewing.
Wanted to see if you could do it yourself.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first craft beer you had in the 2000s, 2010s?
It was probably an IPA, and I probably thought it was terrible.
I'm going to talk about IPAs.
Yeah,
here in a minute.
we all go there, and we're like, oh yeah, it's craft beer, it's IPA, and then you get it, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I like that. Turns out it's probably not the best first beer to get into. There's a lot of other craft beers out there for everybody. There's definitely something, but I guarantee it was that, and I kept drinking them just because. Just because.
Yeah. I feel like mine was a Fat Tire.
Yeah.
I feel like I had a Fat Tire beer, and I was like, all right, this. I feel like I'm having this isn't just me drinking Miller Lights or whatever, or people drinking. This is an experience.
Definitely had Fat Tire back in the day.
Yeah.
And they've changed that. I think it's a yellow beer now. It's not even an amber.
I don't even know what. That makes me too sad. When they changed the label, the nostalgia for me. We were talking about this a month ago on this podcast about when people rebrand, and sometimes you're like, no, but I really like that bicycle under that whimsical oak tree on the label. It just it feels different now.
It is.
I think I had that, and I remember going to Young Avenue Deli, and there was the Stone Brewing.
Oh gosh,
yeah, I know.
Who knows what it could have been from that? It was definitely an IPA.
I know what it was.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can say it on the podcast. It was their Arrogant Bastard Ale.
Yeah.
Sorry if you have to bleep that out.
If you've never had it,
don't
read the label on the back of the bottle or can. Read it on their website. It'll tell you everything you need to know about it. Basically, you're not good enough to drink that beer, I think is what they get at.
It was. I took it all as a joke and also a challenge, which I'm sure is exactly what they were going for. It was a fun time. And so here, let's do a couple of rapid fire questions since we're talking about personal preferences. Your favorite beer that you've made as head brewer at Meddlesome?
My favorite beer that I've ever made there is the All the Cookies.
All the Cookies.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's a imperial brown ale that we age in a bourbon barrel with cinnamon sticks, vanilla. The beer is brewed with raisins and oats, and it tastes a lot like a oatmeal raisin cookie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Delicious.
A lot of fun.
What is the most popular beer that you guys have?
In the market, 201 Hoppler.
Mm-hmm.
In the tap room, it bounces between one of our core 3 beers, Memphis Style, 201, or Analog Groove.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on the day of the week, it bounces between those.
What's an underrated beer that you serve? One that you're like, I wish more people would order this. They're missing out.
I got two for that. And in the tap room, any of our like one-offs that we do, you may never get that beer again. Don't sleep on it. Like, we may never ever brew it again. Get one, try it. If you like it, let us know. We can put it into rotation on a bigger system. And then in the market, really, like, Memphis Style.
Yeah.
Memphis Style is such a easy drinking, crushable beer. It's beer. You don't have to think about it. It's hot outside.
It's so hot.
It is hot, and that is a beer that you can just drink and not have to worry about, 4.5% alcohol.
And
Easy.
That's really popular.
Yeah.
That's really popular
Easy
now.
to drink.
Okay, a beer that you really wanted to work out, and you worked on it, but it really just didn't. And maybe you put it out there, maybe you didn't.
Jerry the King Lager.
Lager.
Yeah.
What went wrong?
I think it was at the point in time that we did it just a little too new for Memphis.
Mm-hmm. A lager. Too new for Memphis.
Well, it was a India Pale Lager.
Okay.
So
interesting.
Yes, it was a lager, but it was also an IPA. Minus the A, because A is ale.
Yeah.
But so yeah, people got it and they saw lager and they thought, oh yeah, like crisp, clean beer, and you get it and you're like, why is it hoppy? Why is it bitter? Why is it this? It was really good, and the people that had it really liked it, but it was just one of those like confusing things in the market, and that is probably the one that I really wanted to work out because of how good it was, and it just didn't. It was, I don't know, too trendy, too different, too something like.
I'll try it again one day.
Yeah, I know, right? I think we've done it at the tap room, but again, it's is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
The meddlesome beer you drink most often.
Memphis Style.
Memphis Style.
Yeah.
The non-meddlesome beer you drink most often can be local, can be national, can be anything. You're like, never.
Yeah, no, I do. I drink. I mean, I'm a Miller Lite guy.
Mm-hmm.
I've had that since I was way younger.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to sit around the pool, that's probably what I'm going to drink. If it's craft, I really do still like Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Yeah.
That is.
Why mess with the classic?
Yeah, it's always been good. So
I love that.
Kind of my go-tos.
What surprised you? And this is kind of the last one of our rapid fire. What surprised you the most about the brewery business?
What didn't?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it is not what anybody thinks.
Mm-hmm.
I can make beers that I like all day long. That doesn't mean that anybody else is going to like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard. There's a lot of opinions, and you have to make everybody happy, and you have to have this like neutral ground. Like, would I make this beer different if it was just for me? Yeah, probably.
Right.
But since I'm trying to appeal to everybody, it's going to be a certain way. And that's kind of what it is. Like, it's everybody's opinion. Like, they all want you to do this, they all want you to do that, and you're like, okay, well.
And sometimes what people say they want is not actually what they end up doing.
It's not what they want at all. Yeah, I mean, we hear it all the time. Sours. When are you going to make another sour? We just made one.
Y'all aren't going to drink it. Yeah.
You had. Oh, I know. I had that one. When are you going to make a new one? Well.
The industry's changed so much. I've read a lot about this, and I just think it's so interesting. I mean, we had there was the IPAs, and then there was the IPA backlash because you either like it or you don't. Yep. And then there's seltzers.
Yeah.
And then.
Glad that's over.
Are you glad? Is it over?
I mean, unless you're. Truly or White Claw, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's over for.
It's over.
Yeah, it's over for pretty much every brewery. Like
Mm-hmm.
we have a seltzer, and it never leaves the tap room.
Yeah,
it's kind of one of those things. Like I don't know that we'll even rebrew it whenever it's gone.
Sure,
we've done it since that fad started. But yeah,
was that a pandemic thing, or was it just kind of happening at the same time?
I don't know. You know what? None of this really started until they started drinking seltzers. So
Yeah.
maybe that's to blame for it. Maybe we shouldn't drink those anymore and it'll all go back to normal.
Yeah,
I don't know.
just
Maybe.
everyone's drop the claws.
Drop the claws.
Drop the claw, let go of the Truly, and we can reset time.
Yes.
I remember seeing this like TikTok video in the pandemic of someone who had built a giant cardboard boat out of White Claw boxes, and I was like, I'm concerned for you.
Yeah.
Well, what's next though? What's happening next?
If anybody was actually able to tell us that,
Sure.
I think that they would be doing very well off. We have seen a big shift into lagers, just more drinkable, easy beers. I don't know why. There was a big push for non-alcoholic beers, and again, unless you're one of the big companies that's making them right now, you're probably not going to do well with it. They're pretty hard to make. They're also a safety risk to make if not done properly. So leave it to the big guys. Let them handle it.
Right.
And don't waste your time. Just buy their product and sell it. Support them.
Right, yeah. I like that approach. And you also do have, like, I think root beer and cream soda.
Yeah.
So there are non-alcoholic.
Mm-hmm. We offer the non-alcoholic beer to you. So,
Yeah.
But like I said, for the risks involved and everything, it's not in my interest to make it. I'll support.
Is that just
whoever
because it could
is.
have more alcohol than you expect?
I mean, you could have the potential of having more alcohol in it, but because there is no alcohol in it, there's no preservative properties. So you can run the chance of like botulism and like serious things. So unless it's being pasteurized or anything like that, it's best to just not try to do it on your own.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Yeah.
So let's talk about a really important ingredient in beer,
Yeah.
water. And that's definitely something I wanted to talk to you about today. At the top, we talked about a letter that you signed along with, I think, 7 or 8 other Memphis brewery owners that was published in the Daily Memphian on July 8th. It was written by Rhiannon Watson of Protect Our Aquifer, and so that's an advocacy group for water use in Memphis. And what made you decide to sign that letter, and what are your concerns?
So signing it was easy. That's a no-brainer. I mean, it is very, very important. And our concerns are exactly the same concerns that they have. There are toxic chemicals in the area that they are pulling water from. The rapid pulling of the water, it can cause the chemicals to go deeper into the aquifer. That's one of the really big concerns about it. Arsenic is one of them. So if we get arsenic in the drinking water, now everybody's going to have special filtration to remove it and everything else. So it's not just a cost for us as breweries, but it's a cost to everybody in the city. It's going to have to be removed one way or another. Big concern. Also the usage.
Right.
They know roughly about how much water's in the aquifer. They have absolutely no idea how long it takes to get into it. So that rainwater that we love and see and could use on days like today, they have no clue how long it takes to get into that.
To replenish the aquifer, yeah.
Yeah, so that's, a little alarming. We don't know. It happens, it goes there, but when you have companies that are pulling, 25 million gallons of water in a month, and not even a hot month. So that number will definitely go up. June, July, August, that was in March. So the hotter it gets, the hotter everything runs, the more water you need.
So to back up a little bit, I want to make sure I'm going to use our reporting from Sam Hardiman at the Daily Memphian. He's been covering XAI, which is now SpaceX, which is now SpaceXAI.
Yeah. I think it runs Grok as well.
Yes. Yeah. So and that's changing all the
Colossus,
time. Every day, whatever owner Elon Musk is doing. He has several data centers in various stages of development in the Memphis, North Mississippi area. I'm really glossing over. I'm giving people kind of a quick one, but we do have a lot of coverage on this, and on the ground coverage from our reporters, especially Sam. So earlier this year, Sam discovered basically by going there that the water treatment facility that's used to recycle water to cool down the data centers, like they had stopped work on building that.
Yeah.
And that's really where Protect Our Aquifer and you guys' concern came in. Now, Space XAI did say at the end of June, in talking to the city, that they're going to restart building that recycling plant in the first quarter of 2027.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at as far as like facts on what we know. And then Protect Our Aquifer has said that it is 25, million gallons that they're using. Whereas they say that Memphis breweries are using like 1 million gallons of beer every year, and so they're using like less than a dozen.
Yeah. So I think it's like it is about 7 times the amount of water to make beer.
Yeah, so, from water to beer. Yeah.
So we used, as all the breweries in Memphis, and we have the largest brewery in the entire state in Memphis.
Yeah.
7 million gallons of water in a year. They did 25 million in a month. So, yeah, it's concerning. And us as a small company, we reclaim our water.
Right.
I don't know how many other breweries in the city do it. Can't speak to their side of it, but we've been doing that since we opened. Not because we have to, but because we want to. We know it's the right thing to do. We're lucky enough, we don't even pay the water bill.
Right.
It was part of the property complex's deal, so it's on them. I could run as much water as I want, and I would never feel the effects of the price of it. But I know that water's not always going to be there for everybody in the way that it is now. So it's very important. And we're able to, on a day where we are making 1,280 gallons of beer, to end up with somewhere around like 300 gallons of wastewater that there's just nothing else that we can do with. We've used it to make the second batch. We've used it to cool it down. We've used it to clean. We've done everything that we can, and now we have that as waste. And that's not bad for how much we're producing there.
Yeah. What are some of the other sustainability efforts that y'all are doing at Meddlesome?
So we are very energy conscious as well. We have a low emissions boiler. All of our lights in our building are LED. We just try to stay on top of that. Anything that we can do that is going to help the environment one way or another, we're going to try it. We're going to do it.
One thing that was interesting to me is I've been pretty well aware of the concern about like the volume of water usage that some people in Memphis have concerning these data centers, like just how much it's using.
Yeah.
But one thing I wasn't as familiar with was what you were talking about earlier, the possibility that the claim that some people have that there's a possibility of, toxins, impurities getting into that precious aquifer.
Yeah, it's a real concern. And I mean, they know that those chemicals are there. They've tested it. It's in the shallow water. Like, it's just, the concern is that excessive pumping will draw it down deeper.
Right. And if you are using water for your business, whether you're a brewery or another business that relies on our water supply, you're going to have to pay to mitigate if those claims are true.
Yeah. Well, here's the crazy part. Even if they pull a bunch of chemicals into the water, it doesn't matter. It's waste. They're using it to cool. It doesn't matter if it has arsenic in it. It doesn't matter what.
To them,
yeah.
Right.
So, to us who want to consume it, it matters a lot. For them who just want to use it to cool something down, it doesn't matter what's in the water. Right.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing the view on that. I did want to take this little moment, just sort of selfishly, if you don't mind, to explain to people who are listening or who are Daily Memphian readers. This happens, I think, because of social media, and I totally understand why it does. You're scrolling along, you see a post from a news outlet, maybe it's Daily Memphian, maybe it's something else, and it's making a claim, like there are concerns about water usage, or we've had other opinion stories that are saying, like, Space XAI is important to our community. We need to do whatever it takes to make sure that they are happy and want to stay here and use whatever water they want. Lots of different opinions.
Sure.
And so it's been the tradition of newspapers and journalism outlets to share those opinions from people in the community, whatever side they're on, opposing views, agreeing together, whatever, to share those as an opinion. It's not actually the Daily Memphian staff, people as an entity. We're a nonprofit. We don't take a stance on that. We're here to report the facts, and we're here to interview people like you and ask you what your concerns are. So that's my soapbox about what opinion pieces are. We should always be, and if you see us mess up, let me know, but we almost always label those opinions so people can know that they're hearing from the voices of their fellow mid-Southerners, like their fellow citizens. I wanted to know how this letter came about. Like, how did it get started? Because we've got folks signing from Soul and Spirits, Meddlesome, Hampline, Memphis Filling Station, and Wiseacre. All the owners signing kind of individually.
Yeah.
How did you guys decide to do this and work with POA?
Yeah, so we've done, and I think a few of the other breweries have as well. We've done events with Protect Our Aquifer before. Come in, they have their monthly meeting, show up, and they actually bring out a really cool thing that they set down, and it shows like the varying levels of like filtration that the aquifer's made up of, and you can carry it around, take a look at it. Really, really neat. And with Memphis having some of the best water in the country, it was kind of an easy thing for us. They started talking about wanting to do this and just getting awareness out there. Like, hey, this could potentially be a problem. Okay, yeah, no, I'm down. Like, water is important to me in my business. So, and I did help round up some guys. I know Soul and Spirits was on, we were on, and then I reached out to Wiseacre, Hampline, Filling Station. No, Hampline was already on, Filling Station. I reached out to Grind City, Crosstown, Cooper House, pretty much every brewery in the city, Ghost River, and, I got exactly what you would expect, varying responses on it, from, nah, this isn't important, or I'd rather not comment on it, or just stay out of it. So the ones that were behind it are signed there and fully believe in it. Yeah. And we're not against AI. I have no problem with it. I have a problem with sustainability. That's my biggest concerns. There's a lot of issues that they have over there that they really should address. Turbines and everything, that aren't necessarily the best for the environment and the surrounding areas. But having a data center, having AI, I think is good for us. It's going to do some things that we can use. I mean, I've run it and been like, oh, well, what do I have? I'm dying.
Yeah.
No, you're not dying. Go to the doctor. You probably have an ear infection, So it's definitely good for a lot of things, and a lot more than what people would assume.
Yeah.
There are companies that are using it to benefit their business in a very large way, whereas, most of us are like, oh, I'm going to make this stupid picture of myself.
Yeah.
Like
my character holding a beer or whatever.
Exactly. We're probably the biggest violators of what they're really thinking it should be used for. But
well, I think that's made clear in this letter as well. Like, I'm not going to read it, but it's on this podcast. I'm not going to read it. We'll include links to it whenever we have the write-up that goes along with this episode with Pugh of Meddlesome Brewing. But, it's pretty clear that you're not against AI or SpaceX AI necessarily. You just want them to kind of
do what they said they were going to do from the start, which is the right thing to do. Microsoft, I think, is the only data center that has a closed-loop water cooling system. And I think that's like ChatGPT runs on it and a handful of other things. But that's the right thing to do. You're going to be using a lot of water. Fill it one time, replenish it when it needs it. It's closed loop. It never goes anywhere. Why not?
Why not? Yes. Thank you for sharing your view on that. I did want to ask you, and it's something that I've repeated over and over again my whole career in Memphis, that we do have, the best water.
Absolutely.
Or really good water. And we've heard it so many times, but I want to know from your knowledge and your perspective, like, what makes it so good? Why is it really that good, and what makes it so good?
Yes, it's really that good.
Yeah.
We were just down in Florida a couple weeks ago. Water's terrible. Absolutely awful. It smells and tastes the same, and it's a very distinct smell and taste. Memphis water is very clean, very easy to drink. You don't have to worry about it with any kind of like buildup or anything. It's just a very neutral water. And that is because of the aquifer. It goes through so many sediment layers to be filtered into a very pure product.
Delicious product.
Yeah.
Before we finish up, I just wanted to get a couple of recommendations from you. When you're not eating and drinking at your brewery, which because you guys do have a full food menu now, with sandwiches and other things, that's part of the liquor license process.
Yep.
We'll have to have you back on another time, or maybe we'll have a round table with brewers and bar owners to talk about why you have to serve food if you're going to have spirits. But I just wanted to get one or two of your favorite spots to eat in Memphis.
Ooh, spots to eat?
Yeah.
I really like Acre. Mm-hmm. Acre's fantastic. Always something good, something different. Like the small plates. I don't know. We like to go over there with friends and hang out. Good cocktails, too.
Yeah.
Really good cocktails.
Acre's a great spot.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Ben. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
President, head brewer at Meddlesome, and talking about some deep stuff on Soundbites. You can tune in to Soundbites on WYXR Radio Thursdays at 11. Listen wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Don't forget the YouTube, or at dailymemphian.com. Thank you again. Stay cool.
We will definitely try.
We will try.
It's hot.
All right. Bye, y'all.